recently bought or planning to buy a new Ryzen 9800X3D, then watch this video very carefully because your CPU might blow up, literally. A Redditor named Natty Overload put out an post where he curated all the Ryzen 9000 series CPUs failing to boot. At this point, there are 120 different cases documented, and in those 120 Ryzen CPUs, 108 were Ryzen 7 9800X3D, 2 Ryzen 9950X3D, and 10 non-X3D Ryzen CPUs. The majority of these premature failures occurred with users using an ASRock motherboard with 98 cases, and the rest happened with ASUS with 16 cases, MSI with 5, and Gigabyte with 1. But one thing to note here, that these incidents doesn't mean that ASRock motherboards are bad quality or there is some kind of problem going on with the latest 800 series chipset. ASRock makes a wide range of motherboards, from their cheap value for money motherboards to very expensive Taichi lineup, and that is the reason why it is so popular among users. Although AMD has shipped hundreds and thousands of Ryzen 9000 series CPUs, and the aforementioned issues are random and differs from user to user and represents a very small set, but it is still alarming because we have seen the same thing happening with the last generation of Ryzen 7000 series CPUs. Hardware posted an article back in February where a user have posted photos of his burnt out 9800X3D. CPU was 3 weeks old and was working fine until that unfortunate day when his system was not booting up, and upon further investigation he found that his CPU had some physical damage and some of CPU's burned out fragment were stuck to the motherboard's CPU socket, and yes, this was also an ASRock motherboard. The explanation was that some debris might have entered in between the CPU and the motherboard CPU socket. Now, if it was the case, it wouldn't have been working fine for 3 weeks. Now, there are some other explanations, like there might have been some electrical issue which have caused the short circuit, or some motherboard pins might have been bent beforehand and the user didn't notice. Another is voltage malfunction, which was the major cause with Ryzen 7000 series burnout. Now, all the 108 cases of 9800X3D haven't concluded into a burnout. Some are not just simply booting up, and computers, well, they are very fragile and complicated, like your girlfriend. At its core, there can be a multitude of reasons why a system is not booting up other than its CPU getting burned out. And although premature hardware failures sounds like a rare thing, but trust me, it is a very common. Upon questioning AMD, Guru 3D received a statement from AMD which is, and I quote, "We are aware of a limited number of user report involving ASRock AM5 motherboard failing to complete post. Following a joint investigation, AMD and ASRock identified a memory compatibility issue present in earlier BIOS version, which has been rectified in the latest BIOS. ASRock has already issued guidance on this behavior and addressed singular report for a damaged CPU. It's worth noting that a failure to post can cause by a range of factors and does not necessarily indicate a non-functional CPU. We recommend users to start by updating their BIOS or to the latest version available for this specific motherboard model. If the issue persists, we encourage users to contact customer support team for further assistance and diagnosis." So what now? If you have a 9800X3D or planning to buy any 9000 series CPUs, while installing the CPU, check if there is any bent pin on the motherboard or not. If there isn't any, install the CPU. If there is, contact customer support. Don't try to fix it with yourself after watching just one YouTube video if you never have done it. Also, clean the motherboard socket now. It's a thing now, it looks like. If there is any debris that you cannot notice, also clean it very carefully, not with paper or any cotton, anything. Try to blow some air. And don't put too much pressure, it can also bend some pins. Those pins are really fragile and very easy to bend and even break. If there is a new BIOS available for your specific motherboard, update to that BIOS. And if possible, use a UPS, which is a very underrated and not talked about hardware or thing in the PC building community. I don't know why. UPS helps you to maintain the flow of electricity. It sends stable electric current from your wall to your system. Voltage malfunction and power surge could really damage your PC, trust me. And finally, if your system is not posting, then contact your customer support if you have no experience with system diagnosis. If you have some, then you already know which steps to go through, and even after going all those steps your system is not posting, then also contact your customer support. And lastly, don't get too tensed up. No, not every single 9800X3D is blowing up. It's a very small number of people who are facing this issue, but it's still a issue that needed to be talked about. That's the reason I made this video. You have one 9800X3D or any 9000 series CPU, you don't need to be too much worried. Be a little cautious. Check for debris inside your motherboard CPU socket or bent pins. And if you like the video, hit the like button. If you haven't, feel free to dislike. Leave a comment that you find this video useful or not, or if you have a 9800X3D or not. And if you want to watch more videos, then watch this video because YouTube wants you to watch it. And if you want to subscribe, well, do it right by here. And there's Akash, and I'll see you guys in the next one.